From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with incredible great news about your stimulus check update of 2022. With a lot of breaking news today on the big front, but the big surprises are those three checks have now landed. Have you got to them? A $6,500 check, a $15,000 to $80,000 check, and an MSC check, baby. Oh, yes. We're going to go over all these incredible checks that have now landed and I'll show you how to get them. If you haven't become a member, make sure you become a member during this recording. We're going to go over all those checks and more. But first, we're going to turn to the developing details. There's a lot of economic analysis coming out today for April 9th, 2022. Signals that my predictions were correct. A lot of insiders now believe that Jay Powell does not have the tools to reduce inflation. What does that mean for Build Back Better Act and SS300? We'll be analyzing the situation today. Build Back Better Act will likely go to a potential vote in the month of April. And then SS300 needs that swap from code of inflation happening quickly because Jay Powell's raising those interest rates quickly as well. All the latest details in today's recording from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Next, we'll be looking to 7 stimulus, that student loan debt forgiveness from that May 2nd deadline. Then we'll be looking at 6 stimulus, that Putin-caused stimulus. And is it on track or off track because of those comments from Germany? We'll analyze the situation for wheat, grain, soybean, corn, and more. It's a big broadcast, and we're just getting started. Then we'll be turning back to the latest details that impact your wallet, and we'll have a lot of my predictions on where this economy is going. See the very end of this video because I have big insight about what I think is going on with the economy and what's also not going on. It's a big broadcast for April 9, 2022. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and 3 major checks have landed. Are you ready to get them? I hope you are. We'll go over all those incredible checks and more as we go into a big broadcast. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's a beautiful day, and it's great because you're here. The incredible details of the incredible money heats up right now as Mornings LA gets underway. And good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is a gorgeous day here along the coast in Santa Monica, California for April 9th, 2022. Have you become a member? Make sure you do, because in a second we're going to go over those incredible checks. Not 1, not 2, but 3 checks have now landed. I'm going to go over each of them and why viewers are getting paid them so quickly. Those incredible details. But first we're going to start with the Build Back Better Act, the Fourth Stimulus Recon, the SS300, that got major economic news today, this day, and it signals where we're going on, what's going on this coming week. We'll go over that economic data and what it means for you and your wallet. Then we'll be looking to that 7 stimulus, that student loan debt forgiveness. We'll be looking at 6 stimulus, the Putin-caused stimulus, and also we'll be going over the recessionary concerns at issue across the board. Say at the very end of this video, get your pen and paper out, take notes, stay with me throughout this entire video because there's a lot more checks coming up later in this video. I want you to get all those monies across the land. And with that, let's start first with the incredible Build Back Better Act. The incredible Build Back Better Act is 3 classes of checks, 3 add-ons. That's currently in the Senate, and those incredible checks pay a lot of money. How much do they pay? $15,000 to $80,000 of checks. Wow, that is incredible. And how do you get those incredible checks? Well, in prime time tonight on Amy's LA at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we're going to go over each of those checks in detail, but let's get an overview of that recording right now. In the first class, we have Hazard Pay, 1 more year of the earned income tax credit for my essential workers. They have $4,000 of elder care. They have big money for the young children, $3,600 for them, and the $4,000 to care for them as well. $550 check for the college student Pell Grant, and the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, plus home repairs if you live in a low-income community, and nutrition. That first add-on at checks comes from Maxine Waters. Just a little bit less than $25,000. Wow, that is huge. That is money given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow for the purchase of your first home. How do you get that check? You tune into Evenings LA tonight in prime time at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to go over all that element of that check and all the other checks in detail then. Let's turn to the second cluster of checks, home repairs and paid leave. Paid leave is a lot of money, folks, $4,000 to $6,000 a year if you have to stay home from work due to sickness or illness. And then home repairs to weatherize your home. Wait, hold up. Don't spill the coffee. Don't choke on the bacon. Hold up. That check is now law. Oh boy, what happened? Joe Biden took it out. That check, the home weatherizing grant check, which is supposed to be in the second cluster of 3 in the Build Back Better Act, is now law. The president took that check out no less than about a few weeks ago, and it's the second check he's taken out of Build Back Better Act and made law by executive branch, does not even act of Congress. So which check is that? Yes, that is check A in our list of A, B, and C. That is check A. Here we go, folks. Here it is. That weatherizing grant check that was in Build Back Better Act is now law. The president made law by taking it out March 31st, 2022, and viewers have gotten that check. Check B was also a fourth stimulus check. Wow, $15,000 to $80,000. It became law on March 4th by the president of the United States. And an MSC check, well, that already is law. And it's huge. Let's go back into that Build Back Better Act. Whoa, we're getting exciting news, and we're just a few minutes into this video. That is the second of 3 clusters of checks in the Build Back Better Act. The second add-on of checks is a little bit less than $250 billion. A free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Huge. Millions of Americans need that. A little bit less than $250 billion. Let's go to that third cluster of checks. Seniors checks, free internet for all checks, farmers checks, independent contractors checks. And then Medicaid, and then the independent contractor checks, and then lots of checks for my seniors. Dental checks, vision checks, hearing checks, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55 checks, and then Medicaid gap fix, which is par for the course when we're talking about adding checks to the Build Back Better Act. The other checks they represent they would add in there, of course, are MSC. MSC, in this case, a Build Back Better MSC, where the check comes out from IRS, an IRS MSC. Let's go over the details of this fourth stimulus MSC check right now. Who gets it? The eligibility is the same as a third stimulus check, so represent the leadership of the Senate. Single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. Family of 4, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, you get as well. It's not income, it's not taxable, and adult dependents would also get it. How do you get this check? I'll have it more in prime time on E! LA tonight. They would pay out $2,000 the first month, $1,000 after, for up to 6 months. And that, my friends, is the Build Back Better Act. Now, what is fascinating is that Build Back Better Act proposes an MSC that goes 6 months at $1,000 a month after the first month. That's $7,000 over 6 months. Why wait for Build Back Better Act when you can get check C? It's an MSC that's paying out $2,000 a month, not $1,000. And not 6 months, but 12 months on average. So viewers of the channel, oh boy, that MSC check of C is coming up in just a second. Yes, A and B were checks in the Build Back Better Act. They're now out and they're now law. And an MSC check, well, I got MSCs better for you right now than even Build Back Better has. Yes, better MSCs than Build Back Better. It's check C. It's coming up in just a second. How do you get it? Become a member, and we're going to go over all those checks in just a second. Now, let's go to the SS300. Fascinating. SS300 is a concept to swap your COLA for inflation. It was a campaign promise and then a platform by Joe Biden as president. The concept is very simple. Swap COLA for inflation when it's high. And if you swap it right now at least 8%, you get $200 more per month, not just this month, but lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Well, where's inflation right today? It's tracking its highest price point of a generation. I predicted it was going to be 8% in December last year, April. I was right. And it was 8% in January. It's still potentially 8% or higher right now because the 10-year Treasury note's trading higher. But what's part of the equation? What's part of the equation is Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve. His job is to bring down inflation. And we have a lot of fascinating details of that in just a second. But Jay Powell has really changed by the minute, by the hour. Jay Powell had said in the month of February he's going to do a quarter basis point increase. And that quarter basis point increase would be in March and indefinitely. Then we went into the FOMC meeting in March. He did it, but he said, maybe I need to do something more. A week later, he said, I think we need to maybe do 1/2 basis point. Then he said maybe 2. Now some Fed governors, like the one out of St. Louis, says, maybe just a whole year of 1/2 basis point. Excuse me? And what about the end of the year? Well, Jay Powell started the month of February saying we're getting down to 4% inflation by the end of the year. And then in March, he said 1.9%. Ouch. That's why you want Joe Biden to make that swap and cola inflation right today before inflation does come down. Where is it coming down to? I'll have that analysis for you in 1 second. Because if you lock it in right now, you get about $200 more per month. And if it comes in at 4% later this year, that inflation, that's another $100 on top of that. But here's the breaking news for April 9th, 2022 today. Analysts today are repeating what I've been saying on this channel for upwards of 2 months. You think they've been listening? I've been saying that I don't think that Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, has the tools to bring down inflation like that. That's what they're saying today as well. They don't think he can do what he says he's going to try to do. Wow. Now, if he can't do any of it, it's good for your benefits because guess what? Joe makes that phone call, you lock in more $200 more per month and $100 later this year. But what if he can do some of it, Jay Powell? Let me go over the analysis right now. I don't think that Jay Powell can get inflation down to 1.9% by December. I don't think it's humanly possible. And if he gets it down to 4%, you're good. That's an additional $100 more per month. Let's talk about this month and next month. If Joe makes that swap and cola of inflation, where is Jay Powell going to get inflation down to? 5%? 6%? I think that Jay Powell can get it down to 7%, but I don't think he can get it down to 5% before May. I just don't think it's happening. Here is what's going on. Analysts are now co-signing what I've been saying, which is the reason you have inflation has nothing in the toolbox that Jay Powell can fix. It's being caused by supply chain. That barge from China that's delivering the sofa that's sitting at the port of Los Angeles and the truck that can't get the sofa off of the barge. Jay Powell has no tools for that. He doesn't have tools for that. That is what we call supply chain disruption. Supply chain disruption is still with us, and Jay Powell raising inflation will not solve that equation. So I think it's good news for SS300. What is the news for Build Back Better? So now we got news for Build Back Better. In the last 24 hours, in the last 7 days, we've had a lot of economic data, more than we usually do. And the economic data shows that this economy is stalling. If this economy is stalling, then you need stimulus. That's part of the equation. Let's go over the analysis. If I see an economic data beat, it means it came in strong. If I say it misses, a miss. It means it missed on the number. Let's say we're looking for 10 new jobs created in the month of March, and we generate 20. That's a beat. Let's say we generated 2. That's a miss. So what was the economic data in the last 7 days? Generally all misses, with the exception of the unemployment numbers, which were major beats. Let's go over the data that came in the last few days. Number 1, housing industry, miss after miss. First, we have home starts. How many homes are sold in the month? 4th consecutive month down, miss, major miss. Then we have the mortgage industry surging to 5.1%, highest mortgage of a generation, major miss. Then we have the inversion curve, the 10-year Treasury notes, all the Treasury yields going too high, major miss. Then we have the auto industry, unable to sell cars, major miss. Then, on another front, the gross national product, which shows how big this economy is growing, we thought it was going to be 7.1%. It came in 6.9%, miss. Then analysts are now saying that it may drop to 4% later this year, miss. And what are some analysts saying? They're saying that it may be a flat number by the end of the year, like a 0.5 percentage point. Well, here's my takeaway on that. It will be, because when you see a recession, that means the economy has no growth or negative growth, like negative 1.1%. I think the full recession is 2023, 2024. So I don't think you'll see negative numbers by then, but I think you'll see maybe 1% growth by the end of this year, or a half basis point, half a percentage point. So these are all major misses. What were the beats? The major beats were unemployment. Unemployment was out of control this Thursday. Great numbers. Number one, the number of new unemployment claims was the lowest we've seen since the 1960s, coming in at a mere 166,000 new unemployment claims. Folks, I made that recording on this channel. For now, over 2 years, we've seen 1 million new unemployment claims. We're at 166,000. It's nearly zero. Number two, the number of reoccurring unemployed people, these are people who were unemployed the week before and are still unemployed, is 1.78 million. How hideously low is that number? A year ago, it was 17.8. There's literally almost no one unemployed anymore. Moreover, the number of jobs available, there's 6 jobs available for every unemployed person. So the unemployment numbers are a major beat. What is the takeaway right today? The takeaway is for SS300 is that the numbers are really signaling that Jay Powell may get it wrong, that Jay Powell may not have the tools, and that Jay Powell may try a half basis point at 2 meetings, but that may not bring down inflation. Good. Joe made the phone call. What does it mean for Build Back Better? It means that if they do Build Back Better today, they got more economic support for it. Because guess what? If the economy's stalling, you need stimulus. If the economy's not growing, you need stimulus. And if the industries that define your cost of living, like inflation and housing and rent, are surging out of control, and you're not making more money as an employee, which you're not, then you need more stimulus. And that is why Build Back Better Act has a good situation for it going in this month, where a lot of analysts do think it's going to get passed. Now, let's go back to those 3 checks. Don't have to wait around for any of these things, because 3 checks are now landed. And in the second half of this video, we're going to go over each of these 3 checks. They are a $6,500 homeowners weatherizing grant check. Became law March 31st. Wow. Huge. Viewers have gotten it. A $15,000 to $80,000 check, homeowners grant check, became law March 4th. Incredible. Viewers have gotten it as well. It's averaging $66,000 to $80,000. And finally, an MSC check of about $24,000. Many viewers have gotten over $150,000. You can get as well. It's coming up after the commercial break. But first, have you become a member? Become a member. The newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system. Become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Become a member before the commercial break. The link is at the top of the channel, the pinned comment. As we come back from commercials, we'll be going over each of these checks one at a time, A, B, and C. Plus, stay at the very end because we have big surprises, and we'll be looking at 6 stimulus and also that student loan debt forgiveness. We're just getting started. As the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. A huge second half of this video is heating up. Stay with me, but first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll see you back in 60 seconds. As the details continue, live from Santa Monica this morning. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on a big, bold, beautiful morning to LA, direct from Santa Monica, California. You're watching me live on April 9th, 2022. A lot of developing details in the big second half, but the biggest, of course, are those three checks. Have you gotten them? I'll go over check A, B, and C, and the huge news at hand. Get your pen and paper ready. Get a cup of coffee. Put your feet up. Take notes. Stay at the very end of this video. It's a full hour broadcast, and I want you to get all those incredible checks at issue. And there's a big surprise coming up later in this video. We're going to go over each of these checks starting right now. But first, we're also going to look at the recessionary concerns across the board and why is that big for 6 stimulus. Then we'll be looking at 7 stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness. And then we'll be turning back to what the president has done and hasn't done on Build Back Better. Those big details coming up in this recording. But first, let's start with these 3 checks. 3 checks have landed, and boy, they are incredible. They are a $6,500 homeowners weatherizing grant check. It is law. It was 4 symbols taken out, and it is law. Made law March 31st. A $15,000 to $80,000 check made law March 4th, 2022. And an MSC check, oh baby, $24,000 on average, became a law last year. Let's go over each of these checks one at a time. Check A. Wow. $6,500 check. Is that $6,500? Well, some states are paying more. Are you serious? Yes. Some states are paying upwards of $12,000. This is a 4 stimulus check. It was taken out of the 4 stimulus Build Back Better Act by the President of the United States, and it's huge. What is it called? It's called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. What is the income qualification? Same as a stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less, you can get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you can get it. If you're on benefits like seniors, like Social Security or veterans benefits, you can get as well. The last qualification is that you own a home. So where do you get this incredible check? You want to become a member. Open that membership newsletter and go right in there, right under the top of the membership newsletter after the price of corn, wheat, and oil today is check A. You're going to see check A, the homeowners weatherizing grant check, explains a little bit more about it. And then you're going to see the link. You're going to click the link that sends you right into the national website. Then at that national website, you're going to choose your state. Let's say Alabama. And then once you're in Alabama, you choose the homeowners weatherizing grant. And it'll say the Alabama homeowners weatherizing grant. Wow. You click the link and you apply. You do it online. You're ready to rock and roll, and you get funded in about a week approximately once you're approved. Huge, incredible across the board. That is check A. Let's go now to check B. It looks a lot like A, but it's also quite different. Check B is $15,000 to $80,000. It's a lot more money, folks. Average view of this channel is tracking about $66,000 to $80,000, and it started paying out on March 4th. So what is this check? It's check B. Let's go over check B right now. $15,000 to $80,000, yes. Being paid out, yes. Viewers have gotten the cash actually in hand. It's a 4 stimulus check. Oh boy, it is. Taken out of the Build Back Better Act, and it's called the Homeowners Grant. Now, the income qualification is the same as a 3rd stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. And you have to own a home. And you can be a senior on Social Security or a veteran on veterans benefits. Now, do not think too much about the words like homeowners or weatherize and things like that. Just go apply. Don't think, well, is it a mobile home or not a mobile home? What type of weatherizing? You know, where I live, there's tornadoes. Where he lives, there's surf advisories. Where I live, there's no surf. There's no ocean. So just don't worry about those terms. Just go and apply. Every day you wait, you don't get your application on file. Every day you wait, people cut in front of you like waivable checks that will not wave back at you. So don't let a waivable check come in front of you or a lobster or anything else. This is You want to be first in line and get those big checks across the board. Let's go back into that check B. So back into that check B, when you're pouncing as a purple hawk and really swirling and about to grab that big check B, what should you know? Well, again, you're going to a website. This will be a different link. This website will send you to the national website, which then you'll see a map. You'll click the link and go to your respective state. Then at your respective state, you click the link and apply. And the payout, rounding times on this is about a 1 week, and viewers have gotten it. Once it says approved, you get approved. You get a check. Huge. And there you go. Next, let's go to check C. Let's compare how A, B, and C are different. If you're a homeowner, you can get check A, B, and C. You heard me right, the word and, A, B, and C for homeowners. If you're a renter, you get a check C. Wow, I got checks for everyone on this channel. All of ya. So let's go to check C. Became law in 2021. What is check C? It is an MSC check, baby. It's averaging $2,000 a month for 12 months, but many viewers have gotten on average 45,000, and a lot have gotten over 150,000. Let's do a reality check, shall we? Build Back Better Act, which is not a law, just a proposal, has 6 checks. This has 12 checks on average. Build Back Better has checks of about $1,000 on average. This, on average, has checks of $2,000. And Build Back Better on most would pay you $7,000. Many viewers on this channel have gotten with this average of $45,000. Some have gotten much in excess of that, of $150,000. Why would you wait around and wait for Build Back Better? I like IRS stimulus checks. No, you like money like this. This is what people have gotten for rent on this channel, $27,000. This is what people have gotten for these checks, $7,000. This is what people have gotten for SNAP, $18,000. This is what people have gotten for combo items from this channel, $32,000. We have Lorraine who got over $105,000. We have $125,000. We have Mark who got over $100,000 since he started at $50,000. That is why you want to become a member, to get these big checks. So how do you get this check C? How do you get check C? It is different than A and B. In A and B, you're going to a website in either your cell phone or your computer. On check C, you're just going to your phone. It doesn't even have to be a cell phone. It could be a home phone, a landline, an old rotary phone, a Mickey Mouse phone. It can be any type of phone. So you're going to call? Get ready. Here's who you call. You're going to call your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Oh, you also going to call your state hall and your state housing authority. I also had to add that in there. State hall and state housing authority. Now remember, if you are a member, you're going to get other places to reach out to. You're going to get additional half other places to reach out to, not just 6. That's the benefit of being a member. Who are those additional 6+ places approximately? They are the nonprofits. The nonprofits pick up other sums of money, and that is why you want to pounce. The average viewerless channel is getting on average about $45,000. Folks, that's a lot more than a Build Back Better $7,000. Pounce to get these big checks today. You don't want to wait. Again, the average viewer is getting $45,000. Don't wait, get these big sums of money today. Just do it. That is your check C. And what are you waiting for? Become a member today. Go to the top of the chat, go under the video, and become a Purple Hawk, a Purple Power, a Calcino VIP. Become a paid member today to get the incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and 9 o'clock Central. As one viewer yesterday sent me a beautiful message, said, my goodness, LA, that newsletter is so dense. It is so robust. There is so much in there. I was blown away. What a beautiful comment. Get that newsletter delivered to you via the YouTube alert system Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get these big checks across the board. Now, student loan debt forgiveness, very fascinating. The president has set a May 2nd deadline to determine the fate of student loan debt. What is his options? Number 1, to do nothing and say, pay me back your debt. I don't think that's going to happen. Number 2, to extend the deadline further out to think the situation over. The deadline is to extend the moratorium, or number 3, to forgive student loan debt altogether. The president's education secretary under Obama Biden has said Joe knows he can do it because we passed the law during that administration, that a president can forgive student loan debt. So we will watch that situation across the board. The other situation that's really fascinating today is that sixth stimulus. Sixth stimulus is a stimulus package to solve recession caused by Putin. First was for COVID. Second was for COVID. Third was coming out of COVID. Fourth was coming out of COVID. And where are we today? Well, when we look at sixth stimulus, where we're looking at sixth stimulus today, we're looking at a stimulus package to battle the ensuing concerns about recession. And it's needed for things like the oil, the wheat, the corn, and also the banking industry. And how did we get here? Let's recap. Day one of the Vladimir Putin invasion of Ukraine, Anthony Blinken, your Secretary of State, reached out to Germany and France, said, get off of those Russian products. They said, we can't. He said, you morally must do that. And then they said, okay, we will. We'll do it by debt spending and then giving stimulus to our citizens, because no one can afford these prices of gasoline and these prices of grain indefinitely. That was then. But in the last week, the Germans have said, no, we're not getting off of those Russian products. Excuse me? So where's the situation today? Let me tell you where it is. First, the oil situation. The oil situation is Germany saying they're not getting off of Russian oil. So we may see sixth stimulus as just a U.S. policy, where we give stimulus because no one can afford this price of gasoline and the price of wheat indefinitely. Where are we on the oil front? This is where it gets really interesting. The President of the United States had a press briefing in the White House over a week ago, said, I'm releasing 1 million barrels of strategic reserves per day through the next 6 months to bring down the price of gasoline at the pump. Does it work? Of course not. No, it does not work. The way that oil works is that there's a shortage internationally. You need to flood the market internationally of oil. So if we try to flood our market of oil, it doesn't bring down the price of gasoline internationally. Your price that you're paying at the pump is determined by the international price. It's not just dependent upon what we have available here. The president also said that the Western allies are flooding the market with their strategic reserves, gasoline they have stored up. No, they're not. They don't have any gasoline stored up. Where's he getting this stuff from? Very, very confusing. What looked like something so simple and then got so bizarro was what happened with the JCPOA. The present day one of the Vladimir Putin invasion of Ukraine had to get some oil. I said, go to Venezuela. They got the biggest production of oil internationally. We didn't go there. I said, go to OPEC. OPEC was laughing at us because they wouldn't even increase production. We didn't go to them as well. So the President of the United States went to the JCPOA, which is an agreement they've been negotiating for over 15 years with Iran, for Iran to disarm its nuclear warheads in exchange for increasing their exports to the U.S. and Western Allied soils. It looked great. We're almost there. Let's understand. The White House had a reach out from the Russians about the JCPOA, got a deal with the Russians over it, yes, in the last 2 weeks. Then the Germans were negotiating the JCPOA for us. It all looked so good. How much? 1.5 million barrels of Iranian oil by the end of the year. 500,000 barrels right today, bringing down the price of gasoline to its lowest levels of generation. And then what happened? In the 2 years of this channel being around, approaching its 1 year anniversary, it's 1 year anniversary? 2 year anniversary. This April 25th, 2022. I have never seen an Agatha Christie novel mystery whodunit like this JCPOA. We literally don't know what happened. We had a deal. And then suddenly it just disappeared. I'll analyze it more tonight on Evenings LALATE in prime time. But folks, I got to tell you, this one is left for the mystery novels. The deal is there, and then there's no mention of it, and then the president says he's doing this other thing. Guess what? You can't afford price of gasoline at the current levels, and it's not going down based upon those strategic reserves. And no one has any idea what happened to that JCPOA, but I have a little bit of an idea, and I'll show it to you tonight in Eden's LA. Next, the price of wheat and grain. We had new insight about that as well this week. You cannot afford a $7 loaf of bread. Well, that's where you're heading, because guess what? I've been telling you that the Iranian the Iranian war with Russia will disrupt the supply of wheat and corn internationally. It has. It's its highest level of generation. I've been featured in the newsletter from members every night, and guess what? Nothing's being done by any of the Western allies on this front as well. This is as countries like Egypt has 80% of their grain coming from Ukraine. The latest analysis today is that market analysts now believe that there's 40% higher risk on those commodities like corn and wheat from where we even are. That could be very, very troubling. Nothing solved across the board. And finally, then the banking industry. Well, you know what? I don't have a newsroom with 700 employees in 16 countries, but the stations that do haven't asked. Did Vladimir make that principal repayment on April 4th? Remember those two principal payments of $2 billion due April 4th? Did he make the debt payment or not? I don't know, because they didn't check on it, and I don't have the resources to check myself. So we will see if the industry, the banking industry in the United States, when they do their corporate earnings reports in the next few days, announce, oh, by the way, I had a major line item loss because we own some Russian debt and Russian equities. We'll see it then, because at the moment, the news is not asking the questions that they should be asking. Where does that bring us right today? Where we are right now for purposes of stimulus, for purposes of six stimulus, for purposes of Build Back Better Act, for purposes of SS300, is that we have an economy that is very unlike anything you've seen in nearly 10 years. Why? Certain parts of the economy are doing really well, and certain parts of the economy are doing really badly. And let me give you the trajectory of where we're going. I believe that the housing industry is currently upside down. The housing industry is doing very badly at the moment, and the auto industry is doing very badly. I believe those two industries are currently in recession. I believe that the rest of the U.S. economy and all the other industries will go in recession by 2023 for 2 years. Currently, you certainly see certain indications of bubble-like talk. What is a bubble? Bubble is where people say things that make literally no fundamental sense and shows you they're recommending people to do things and they're going to be on the wrong side and it's going to burst. One of those bubble comments I saw in the last 7 days, one person said, the average sale of a 4-bedroom condo in New York is $6 million. And we don't care that the mortgages are going to 5%, the highest levels of a generation, because they're all paying cash. No. Average buyer of a home in New York does not have $6 million of cash available. That's bubble-like language. Also, here's another sign of bubble-like environment. I went to one of the major 3 auto manufacturers yesterday, their website here in Los Angeles, and I looked at a truck that's gas powered. Wanted to see what they were offering it for sale at. Guess what? They didn't say. They said call for details. Is that because they had 2 of them available because they're in such high demand? No, they had 40 of them on their website in one dealership. No demand, not telling the price, sitting there and saying, we have a lot of demand. No, you don't have demand. That's why the auto industry is going under. That's bubble-like environment. We'll have more about that tonight on Evenings LA. What about the employment market? The employment market is red hot. So there's no one unemployed. Don't think that people are struggling for a job, because they aren't. There's 5 to 6 jobs available for every unemployed people. The unemployment numbers are 1.7 million continuing unemployed numbers compared to 17.8 million a year ago. These are astronomically great numbers. Great numbers, bad numbers, how do you deal with it? The collective is that I don't think that Jay Powell has the tools to bring down recession. If he does not have the tools to bring down recession at all or substantially, then guess what you're going to get from his acts or his dance is you're going to get higher interest rates, bad for anyone who has any debt, like a home, a flexible mortgage payment, an auto payment, student loan debt, credit card payment. It's going to be bad for you. You're going to see that the price of goods are going to continue to stabilize. I don't think they're going to go up any higher. I don't think oil, wheat, or any of these prices are going to get any worse, but they're not going to improve, in my opinion. Inflation is not going to improve that dramatically, at least the way Jay Powell's doing it for the short term. And then you're going to start to see certain industries slightly and progressively fall into recession. That is why you got to grab every check as it's available. Let's go back to those 3 checks right now, and let's do a reality check as a family. When you look at check A, it's great. Have you got it? I've been busy. Well, just go get it. Well, I've been busy. Well, get it because it's going to run out of money. It's going to run out of money. Yeah, go get it. Get it right now. Check B. Have you got it? Well, no, I've been busy. Go get it because it will run out of money. Why? They shouldn't run out of money. They will run out of money. Get those checks right now. And then what about check C? Check C, I'd rather have the Build Back Better IRS MSC check. Why? Are you out of touch? No. Why? Because the IRS MSC check of Build Back Better is only 6 of them. And it's only $7,000. This is $24,000, averaging $45,000. Why would you pass up $45,000 for $7,000? What type of math is that? What are you doing here? I'm not good at math. Well, let me just do it for you. 12 checks is more than 6 checks, and $24,000 on average is a lot more than $7,000. This is how you pounce. This is how you do reality checks. You get checks when they're bigger, bolder, and available today. You don't wait around for smaller, unrealized, unreality checks at a later date that haven't become a reality. You get the checks that are reality, A, B, and C today. And when new checks become alive, their amounts as soon as they are made law in the membership newsletter. So become a member today. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get those big checks. Join me next as Noontime heats up. Noontime gives you the routing times. This is our new show. The first half is about your money. Second half is about your stomach and your appetite. But the show also focuses on routing times. Then we got a brand new Afternoons LA show today at 3 o'clock for April 9th, 2022, and a brand new Evenings LA show as well. The toast was toasting, the butter was buttering, and the coffee was brewing, and the recession, well, $7 toast. I don't get into $7 toast. That's just a little too fancy for me. Let's hope that we don't see $7 toast indefinitely, because we won't be able to butter any butter on that stuff. Stay informed, stay focused, because a beautiful day is with us. We're just getting started. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, thank you for joining me on Mornings LALATE. Join me next on Noontime. Stay informed, stay focused, get all these incredible checks, stay here, and